Okay, today we are going to bake a margarita pizza. And so we're going to take the dough and the flour and we are going to mix them together. Okay, the dough is not wanting to come out. Take my hands in there and pull it out. Okay. And by the way, they had ready-made dough over at Mariano's. So we are mixing the dough and the flour together. And when I work with this rolling pin, I don't know about you guys, but when I work with this rolling pin, rather, it makes, I don't know, it just feels therapeutic to me. That's the only way that I could really describe it. It's a therapeutic feel because you're going back and forth and it's like you are able to, it kind of grounds me, I guess I would say. And so you're mixing the flour with the dough and you're going back and forth rolling it. And when my kids were teenagers, what I did is that I would end up, I ended up getting 3 rolling pins and 3 pizza stones so that each of us could make pizza together. And it was just a fun time. It was a fun experience. And I ended up putting names on the bottom of my son and daughter so it wouldn't be any kind of, I guess I would say any kind of confrontation or arguments about whose stone belonged to whom. My daughter was vegan. And then it just made us have a better experience knowing, okay, this is the way that it looked after the person so-and-so used this stone. And so it became one of my favorite pastimes. I said, what could I do to make it natural so that we can enjoy our bonding time together? And so I'm just kind of stretching it out, stretching it out, stretching it out, stretching it out, right? You want to make sure that you stretch it out as much as you can. And what I did last week when I made the pizza, I stretched it out so far on one stone and then transferred it over to another stone and added all of the toppings to it, if that makes sense. So I'm stretching it out, then I'm going to transfer it over to another stone, and then I'm going to add all of the toppings, okay? And just the rolling back and forth. And this is just, like I said, the only way I can describe it is that it's therapeutic for me. You can just kind of be at ease, and I'm not going to play any now, but it's nice if you have the music that you can play while you're doing this and just kind of, you know, getting yourself in tune with God and being able to enjoy whatever view you have outside. Like I could see the trees. Some of them are plain, and then some of them are evergreens, but I can see all of that as I am working. And this is work, actually, so that's why you can tell it sounds like I'm really doing something laborious, and that's because this is work that's involved in this. But I'm excited because back in the day when my kids I made the pizza, I wasn't able to roll it out as much, but then I also used the pizza dough faster than I'm doing now. So I feel like it came out wider by me waiting a little bit longer than I probably should have. It's okay though. It really is, to give myself grace with this. So then what I'm gonna do is go ahead and put the pasta sauce on it and the spinach, and then I'm gonna A little bit of pasta sauce. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is put a little bit of spinach. I'm going to rub the sauce around. I'm getting tongue-tied there. Okay, just rub it around a little bit. Not too close to the edges. Last time I made the pasta sauce, I took a brush and put it way close to the edge. And that was not good. I had to keep carefully taking a paper towel and a regular dampened towel and kind of wiping and touching up on the edges, okay? And this is pretty good. Okay, put a pasta sauce. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the spinach on here, and then I'm going to cut up some tomatoes. So I got the spinach. And the next thing I'll do is to put the pizza stone to the side, clean off my area with the flour, and then I'm going to cut up the tomatoes. Well, actually, before I cut up tomatoes, I'm going to go ahead and put the mushrooms on top. Yes. I might have to put it to the side. I can probably push it forward. So I got a few mushrooms left from when I made the pizza last week, which is wonderful. All right. Okay. And now, mushrooms are there. And now what I'm going to do is to, let's see, so spinach is done. The next thing I'm going to do is actually cut up, I'm going to cut up the asparagus, yes, and put some asparagus on the pizza. Put the spinach away and put the asparagus on the pizza. It's looking good so far. All right. Okay, so we're moving this over and going to cut up the asparagus and the tomatoes and the cheese. Asparagus, tomatoes, cheese. And then I'm going to put the, what am I going to do next? Put the garlic on there. Yeah. Yeah. Asparagus, tomatoes, and cheese. And then I'm going to put the garlic on there. Okay, did I get it? Yep. All right. So I got that done. Okay, now we've got a cutting board I'm going to get for the asparagus. Didn't realize it was more flour, but I should have. Flour can get really messy. Okay, so I'm going to cut up the asparagus. Hold on just a second. Rinsing them off and cutting up the asparagus and putting them on the pizza. Okay. So get the asparagus on the pizza. Okay. Put a little bit of spinach. A little bit minced garlic, I meant to say, sorry. Spinach is already on a pizza. A little bit of minced garlic, okay. All right. It's going to be really asparagus-y. That's not even a word, but I've made it a word. We're going to have a lot of asparagus going on here. Okay. And let's see, yes. This is garbage. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is to put the tomatoes and cheese. I should have put the cheese on earlier. I just thought about that. You know, not a good thing. Once again, I have to give myself some grace. And it is what it is. For right now. Okay. So, let's get this cheese on the pizza. I'm gonna have to cut up the cheese. It's pre-sliced. So I'm just doing a little bit of a rearranging because I should have put the cheese on down here. And I wasn't thinking. So, yeah, it's okay. We're gonna give ourselves tons and tons of grace with this pizza, right? Because it's just gonna melt down in there anyway. Another piece. Okay. Now what we're gonna do, and it might still get a little bit of wet because I should have drained the asparagus off a tad bit more than I did, to be honest. Yep, I should have drained them off. All right, now what I'm gonna do is to do the tomatoes, and then the tofu, and then we're gonna put the pizza in the oven. There we go. Ended up putting these tomatoes back in the bag last time because I didn't need them. So at least they're ready and I have some. Firm tofu, that's the kind that I like. If they don't have it, I usually get firm. If they don't have that, I get regular, but most times I like either firm or extra firm because if I want to cut it up in chunks, I'm able to do that. Okay, now I'm just going to put little pieces of tofu on the pizza, and the rest of it I'm just going to put it in a Ziploc sandwich bag and call it a day. That's what I'm going to do. few more. And that's it. Okay. So now it's time to put the pizza in the oven. Wish me luck, okay? All right. Oh, I forgot to put some seasonings on. I'm going to put the seasonings on next. They are chili powder, parsley flakes, onion powder, cumin. My cumin is almost gone. My mother bought me this big thing of cumin. She saw it and thought about me. I thought that was so sweet. She kind of gets tickled at the fact that I like to use a lot of seasonings and they go fast. Okay, so I'm going to put the pizza in the oven is what I'm going to do. And after putting the pizza in the oven, I'm going to clean up the kitchen. Yes, I want to show you guys the finished product. The asparagus and the spinach, and you got the tofu and the mozzarella cheese slices that were already cut up. And I'm going to cut this up and get ready to head out. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, please subscribe and share. Be blessed. So the very first thing that we are going to do today is to cut up some chunks of potatoes. And then after cutting up the chunks of potatoes, we're going to cut up a few strawberries. How many of you actually like to make French fries? But I love doing that, and then I put a little spin on it. I use a lot of seasonings. I don't know if you guys are totally into seasonings or not, but I love to put a lot of seasonings on my potatoes. Not a whole lot, but I use a variety of healthy seasonings. I've got 3 more to cut. Look like I'm going to have to cut some pieces off the other ones because they're sprouting a little bit. It is cold in Chicagoland area, unfortunately. It was in the 60s for the high yesterday, but it dropped quickly. And on Monday, it was in the 70s. In a few days, it's supposed to be 25 degrees for the high. So I am putting some onion powder. And then we're going to use some parsley flakes. And then some turmeric. And then some chili powder. And then ginger powder. Okay, we've done all of that, and now it's our turn to get them in the oven. Let me turn the oven on. I'm going to put the oven at 415. And the potatoes will probably stay in the oven for about, let me think, maybe about 45-50 minutes, to be honest. And I'm going to cut up the butternut squash. I feel like when you cut up the butternut squash, it's a super duper workout. My friend gave me this, and it's nice when you have friends that have a garden. This is a lot of work. I forgot just that quick. I had put the potatoes in the oven. I'm going, what is that smell? Duh, the potatoes are in the oven. I am wondering what the weather is like in you guys' neck of the woods. Because like I said, it's cold here. And it started off, no, I'm not going to use that part. That's too hard. It started off raining today. And then it went to sleet, and then it went to snowing. And it might have stopped doing everything right by now, but I'm not too sure. And I'm going to put this in the pot with the asparagus. A piece of skin that's on this one. I feel like this one is less work than all the other two. Not all the other ones. If I've had googogs or butternut squash than the other two that I had. Butternut squash is ready. I'll dump that over so it'll kind of be like a salad, I guess you would say. Put some of these in here now. My. This is the Primal Kitchen No Dairy Queso Style Plant-Based Dip that I got from Whole Foods, and it's the organic black bean dip. And that's what I put on my homemade nachos, right? That's make the homemade nachos with cheese. And got the black bean dip, the green goddess dressing dip, and I put all of that on there. And I think I'm gonna sprinkle just a little bit of parsley to make it cute. The parsley will make it cute and give it just a little bit of color there. As you can see, you don't need a whole lot, but it adds a little bit of color there. And I was gonna put some diced tomatoes on it, but I'm not. And now I get to enjoy. Be blessed and talk soon. You got the simple, functional, grace-filled living. I look around and that's all I've been given. I praise him high and I praise him low. I praise him so the whole world will know. You got the simple, functional, grace-filled living. I look around and that's all I've been given. I praise him high and I praise him low. I praise him so the whole world will know. You gotta simplify the process. Adopt a functional space. You gotta simplify the process so there won't be no waste. You gotta simplify the process. Adopt a functional space. You gotta simplify the process so there won't be no waste. You've got to give yourselves and others grace as you live out loud. We're talking simple, functional, grace-filled living. I look around and that's all I've been given. I praise him high and I praise him low. I praise him so the whole world will know. You're talking simple, functional, grace-filled living. I look around and that's all I've been given. I praise him high and I praise him whole. I praise him so the whole world will know. You gotta simplify the process and adopt a functional space. You gotta simplify the process so there won't be no waste. You gotta simplify the process and adopt a functional space. You gotta simplify the process so there won't be no waste. You've got to give yourself and others grace as you live out loud. We're talking simple, functional, grace-filled living. I look around and that's all I've been given. I praise him high and I praise him low. I praise him so the whole world will know. You're talking simple, functional, grace-filled living. I look around and that's all I've been given. I praise him high and I praise him low. I praise him so the whole world will know. You gotta simplify the process. Adopt a functional space. Simplify the process so there won't be no waste. You gotta simplify the process. Adopt a functional space. You gotta simplify the process so there won't be no waste. You got the simple, functional, grace-filled living.